Mais par qui et pourquoi?
C'est la question.
Comment vous justifiez votre geste? Nous sommes enquêteurs à l'IGPN, la police des polices.
Vous avez fait comment, alors?
On a fait l'amour?
Oui, non.
C'est une fille?
Oui.
Ah, c'est bien, tant mieux. T'as pas peur d'être jalouse?
Jalouse de quoi?
Hello and welcome to this week's cinema show on Arts 24, where it's time for French cinema. And for that, I'm joined by our film critic Manon Kerjean from Lost in Translation Film Club. Hi, Manon.
Hello.
Now, 4 new French releases to explore this week, featuring love, ethics, justice, and redemption. Quite the range. We're starting with Vie privée, or Private Life, directed by Rebecca Zlotowski, with Jodie Foster speaking perfect French throughout the film. Now, before I get your take on this one, Manon, let's hear more from Foster as she presented Private Life in Cannes earlier this year.
C'était quelque chose que je souhaitais.
It was something that I've been wanting to do for a long time. It was mainly the script that fascinated me, which I loved.
Passionné, que j'adorais.
And then afterwards, I had a little festival at home of Rebecca Zlotowski's films.
Zlotowski.
She has no English accent.
It's true.
Incredible.
Amazing.
And yes, Zlotowski finally got to work with her, something she had wanted since her very first film. This one was shown out of competition at the Cannes Film Festival. And it's complicated. I was both fascinated and frustrated by it. Zlotowski wanted to make a film about communication, how we speak and how we stay silent, and she built it like a symphony of dialogues and gazes. Foster plays a psychologist navigating her family, her past, and her patients, and she brings this calm, razor-sharp intelligence. But sometimes I felt the film got lost in its own intellectual maze.
Okay, it sounds pretty cerebral then. Is this more of a cerebral film than an emotional one?
Well, there are some flashes of warmth. Daniel Auteuil brings humor, Virginie Efira brings vulnerability, and there's a dream sequence under hypnosis that's incredibly powerful. I just wish the whole film had that same emotional clarity. It's ambitious, elegant, but not always engaging. Let's watch a clip from the film.
J'ai pensé à quelque chose, Gabi, et je veux que tu le prennes au sérieux.
Oui.
Hein, ok? Bon. C'est à propos de ma patiente. C'est la 3e séance que vous avez raté sans prévenir, Paula. Au bout de 3 séances, je suis quand même en mesure de m'inquiéter. Je pense qu'elle était assassinée. Mais par qui et pourquoi?
C'est la question.
Instinctivement, je dirais que c'est sa fille. Vous pensez que je suis responsable de la mort de votre mère? Mon père le pense.
Foutez le camp!
Ma mère venait d'hériter. C'est beaucoup d'argent. J'ai besoin qu'il me croie.
Moi aussi, j'ai envie de savoir maintenant. Bon, vous nous dérangez, là. Je suis sur le point de coucher avec mon ancienne femme, alors ça suffit. Merci. Ah bah dis donc, tu voulais l'assommer, ta patiente, hein?
Quelqu'un a trafiqué ça.
Son mari, toujours qui récupérait les ordonnances.
J'ai trouvé des choses compromettantes chez lui.
Tu fais ses poubelles?
C'est mon boulot.
Oh.
Je sais ce que j'ai vu. Sa double vie, l'héritage de la femme.
Ouais, pourri mon adolescence et votre séparation. Tout ça pour...
I must say, Jodie Foster looks delighted to be in that French Parisian cinema landscape. Well, now to something completely different. Dossier 137, or Case 137 in English, by Dominique Moll. This stars actress Léa Drucker. Given the subject matter, it does sound like quite a tense one.
It is, and it's fantastic. The film revolves around the IGPN, basically the French police of the police. And Moll was actually allowed to observe real investigations within their office in Paris. And that rare access gives the film this incredible authenticity. The story follows a female investigator, Stéphanie, played by Léa Drucker, and she's asked to examine cases of police violence. And Mull uses real-style footage and fake smartphone videos, which creates this amazing immersion feeling for the audience.
He's one for realism, I believe, as a filmmaker. Well, let's watch a clip of France 24's interview with that actress, Léa Drucker, at the Cannes Film Festival, where Dossier 137 premiered.
Et donc c'est une enquête.
It's an investigation into the case of a young man injured during the protests. But it's being conducted from the perspective of France's police watchdog, who acts as an intermediary between the police and the public. Not exactly popular with the police, not exactly popular with the public either.
Non plus des citoyens.
Bonjour Monsieur Cordier, je suis le commandant Bertrand de l'IGPN, l'inspection générale de la police nationale, mon collègue le major Guérini. Nous enquêtons sur les circonstances qui ont mené à la blessure de Guillaume Girard samedi dernier. Sa mère nous a dit que vous étiez avec lui au moment des faits. Est-ce exact?
So some of that sounds quite familiar in terms of storyline. This is rooted in real events, then?
Yeah, exactly. The Gilets jaunes protest, for example, and other recent cases. It's not a documentary, but it feels grounded and socially urgent. Léa Drucker is outstanding. She actually trained with IGPN investigators and learned how isolating their job could be. And fun fact, before shooting, the cast also bonded during bowling sessions. Léa Drucker and her co-stars spent time training together, and that playful atmosphere probably shaped their on-screen chemistry.
So very well researched. They did their due diligence. But what about the film? Did you enjoy it? What did you think of it?
I really loved it. It's one of Mull's best films. It's precise, empathetic, and deeply relevant. And if you haven't seen it, I highly recommend watching his previous film, which won many Césars, the equivalent of the Oscars in France, including Best Film for La Nuit du 12, The Night of the 12th.
Oh, I do remember that film. It was excellent. Okay, indeed. Now, that's one must-watch. Next, Des Preuvesd'amour, or Love Letters in English, the first film by Alice Douard. What's this one about?
It's a debut that's already making waves. It premiered at Cannes this year in the Critics Week, and it's one of those quiet, deeply emotional films that just stays with you long after you've seen it.
But I believe the storyline is about a same-sex couple expecting their first child, right?
Exactly. It's about two women, Nadia, played by Monia Chokri, and Céline, played by Ella Rumpf, who are waiting for their baby to arrive. But Céline isn't the one carrying the child, and that creates this beautiful tension about motherhood, belonging, and identity. And it's actually inspired by the director's own life, which makes it feel incredibly real and even more moving. Alice Douard shot parts of the film almost like a documentary with handheld cameras in real locations in Paris and Bordeaux. Even an inclusive party spot called Club Virage, which is hidden beneath Paris Ring Road. And she said she was influenced by Terminator 2, shoplifters, and even elephants.
Okay, unexpected.
It sounds totally wild, but you can actually feel that mix of tenderness and unease in every frame.
Okay, well, that sounds kind of intimate and cinematic. Let's take a look at the film.
On va avoir un enfant, en fait. Un enfant qui va être là tout le temps, tous les jours.
Vous avez fait comment, alors?
On a fait l'amour.
Non, mais oui, non.
C'est une fille.
Ouais.
Ah, c'est bien, tant mieux. T'as pas peur d'être jalouse?
Jalouse de quoi?
Tu peux me garder Erika, s'il te plaît?
Ah non, je peux pas, là.
Je voulais t'entraîner, non?
Attends, reste là, on est solidaires maintenant. Attends, mais c'est toi le babysitter, hein? Moi, je suis pas payée pour ça, hein?
C'était pas instinctif de t'imaginer coucher avec une fille.
Imaginer ta fille coucher avec un mec, ça c'est instinctif.
Non, tiens ton air, retiens ton air.
Ah, j'ai rigolé, toi. Ouais, c'est bon, on a compris que t'étais enceinte. Ça va, hein, toi tu peux vivre ta vie. Moi, je fais tout le boulot et je suis obèse.
Avoir une fille, on est des filles. Je sais même pas si on saurait être modèle pour elle.
Ben, quand même.
Il est à qui ce bébé?
C'est moi le papa, c'est toi?
On fait ça ensemble. Que ce soit toi ou moi, c'est pareil.
C'est merveilleux d'être enceinte. Peut-être qu'être mère commence par être présente.
De l'amour. Faut qu'on sente l'amour.
Well, I'm certainly intrigued to see where the Terminator 2 influence comes in, but it does look beautifully shot, and you get that sense of realism, like you mentioned.
It does, and beyond the emotional honesty, it's a film about women, written, produced, and led entirely by women, which is rare enough to mention. I loved every minute of it. For me, it's one of the most moving debuts I've seen at the Cannes Film Festival this year.
Okay, it sounds pretty heartwarming. Well, lastly now to Jean Valjean by Éric Besnard, another adaptation of a Victor Hugo story, but not quite. Tell us.
Kind of. It's actually a prequel to Les Misérables, focusing on Valjean's early years, before the man we know. And here it's starring Grégory Gadebois, who is used to historical dramas in J'accuse, An Officer and a Spy in English, Délicieux, or Louise Violet, where he was already sharing the screen with Alexandra Lamy.
So it's a bold move because Hugo's hero has been played by many, many legendary actors in the past, right?
Yes, and that's part of a problem. The film is beautifully made. It was shot in the south of France, lots of natural landscapes, a big €7 million budget, but it doesn't really bring anything new emotionally. It's meant to show how an act of kindness from an old bishop changes Valjean's life, but it feels slow, too polite, and a bit heavy-handed. I respect the ambition, but honestly, I was a bit bored. After Dossier 137, it feels like stepping back into a very traditional, almost old-fashioned kind of storytelling.
Maybe even a 19th century story kind of storytelling. As always, Manon, thank you so much for guiding us through those gems from French cinema this week. We'll leave you with that origin story of sorts, Jean Valjean. Do check in with us next time here on Arts 24 for more movies, music, arts and culture. See you next time.
Veux pas toi ici! Assassin!
J'ai passé 19 ans au bagne. Je m'appelle Jean Valjean.
Madame Magloire, vous mettrez un couvert de plus.
Avez-vous entendu? Je suis un forçat. 5 ans pour vol avec effraction.
Au travail!
14 pour avoir tenté de s'échapper 4 fois.
Le feu vous réchauffera.
Vous êtes qui?
Un prêtre.